right. We're live, baby. We are live.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to another edition of Push to Talk here on the 27th of January, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right now we've got what? We got McLeod. We've got... hold on. I better look at Discord and make sure I get everybody, right?
Yep.
We got Dawn. Oh, that's it.
It's more like
and
loads,
Dawn.
like we potentially have some people coming in a little bit. Like I think maybe Dirk might be coming in a bit. Bard might be coming. You never know. Like, I don't know.
What the hell is this pink keep star shit that he's doing? What has he got there?
No. I was wondering. So it's like it's Eve related. So I don't know whether we can talk about that in the first 20 minutes of the show.
Oh yeah, well, I just saw something, pink and a pair of glasses on a desk. Pink paint and what was that? Princess pink, not just any pink. It's princess pink.
Oh, is it princess pink?
Yeah.
No.
I enlarge it. I check that out, man.
There was a proper shortage of that when Barbie came out. Like, just pink dye in general, globally.
By the way, I'll caution everybody. Even though I got my, I lost my earbuds last week, so I had to get a new pair of earbuds to replace them. I still got to go. I lost one earbud of two. Right?
Did you buy three? Did you buy three accidentally? Like 3 sets,
no.
3 earbuds? Like
no, I didn't. Thank God. But we are. If I run out of here, I'll be right back. And by the way,
to get the next pair.
No. It's not a crisis. But I am watching, as I see, you can see me, I'm looking in the other room here. Mm-hmm. We are attempting to reintroduce 2 of our guinea pigs together and see if they're going to fight. And I've been doing it a little bit at a time the last couple days. I sat with them a long time last night.
Fuck?
No, they're boys. They're
okay.
But by the way, so guinea pig like pairing ritual, no matter what, if it's 2 boys, 2 girls, boy, girl, whatever, right? Getting to know each other. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. The humping thing it's like, I don't know. They do it. It's like,
yeah. It's a show of dominance. That's all it is.
Yeah. And, last time I looked, they were, chowing on their cucumbers and laying beside each other very peacefully.
Okay.
They exercise the today though there was a little teeth chattering, which was a little bad, but I just kind of looked at them and said, guys, seriously. I just looked at them and like, guys, seriously, you're gonna do that? And they both looked at me and they're like, okay, we won't teeth chatter anymore, right? But since we're doing it a little bit at a time, and I did it like for about 5 or 6 hours yesterday. I'll try it all day today. We separate them at night because we're not down there. But if they're good all day today, we're just going to leave them. Okay.
Yeah.
And they should be okay. Nobody's taking a bite out of anybody. That's good.
That's always a good sign. Yes, for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed yesterday they were just laying on their side. When they lay on their side, they're very comfortable, very safe feeling. But I separated them last night, and so it was kind of a, hey, we're coming after each other again for a while today, this morning when I was sitting with them before the show. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. But it's been good all day so far. Chill. Oh yeah. They are pretty. I'm like looking over. I got to look over my. Oh yeah, they're popping.
What's popping?
The guinea pigs, one at the other. They're kind of facing off here. But it's kind of like a chill face off. Sorry, looking at the top of my head there because I'm looking in the other room. Because I gotta look over my glasses, right? Because these are not distance glasses, right? So make sure I can see them. But yeah, they
right, I see.
So the nice thing about this is, right? So for a guinea pig, a 2 foot by 4 foot area is pretty much all they need. And this will give them a 2 foot by 8 foot for 2 of them, little pen. And I think that they will like it better. And, they have double everything. They have double everything. But one 2 foot by 4 foot area has what we call the terrace, so it has an upstairs, right? And
okay,
and it's funny as hell. And the other one we use the.
This is prime property. This is prime guinea pig property. It seems it's like got all mod cons and everything.
Well, the other one doesn't have that, and it was due to just how much of the caging material we had. And then the other one we use Guinea Dad for the bedding material. They have really nice special absorbent little material pads. We change them every couple days.
Is it Egyptian wash them down?
No, it's not Egyptian down, but it does have like a little pocket at one side. So if they get cold or they just want to burrow a little bit, they can just go into the pocket. So the one guinea pig hasn't had a pocket for a while, and the other one hasn't had a terrace for a while. So I'm like, you guys can just hang out and do what you want to do, right? And
enjoy the luxury improvements to your abode.
Yeah, just see if you're a thing. But they're not running around; they're just kind of walking, and so I think they've kind of acclimated. Sorry for making everybody see. Holy crap! I got a lot of gray hair on top of my head. Holy shit!
Yeah, it happens when you get old, dude.
It does. It does. How about that, man?
Just want to make sure that you keep that hair on the top of your head rather than just lose it.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. I'm one of those people. By the way, this applies. Women, I don't think grow as gracefully in general, as a generalization. By the way, we're acknowledging this is generalization. as perhaps men do. Like, I got gray hair up there, right? I got gray in the beard. You all know that. And it just, it is
gray in the beard. Fucking hell.
It is what it is. Okay. But it's just, I'm not changing. Like, I don't have like the Grecian combing it in, or color in the hair. Whereas, my wife may or may not. I can't confirm or deny whether she colors her hair or not.
I mean, I can
neither confirm or deny.
In my experience, women color their hair even if they don't have grays. Like they just enjoy the opportunity to change colors every so often, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, well, she
I've fucking done it. I've dyed my hair fucking black before. I've dyed my hair midnight black, and that is. Yeah, I've dyed my hair midnight black before, and that was the worst.
I was like, you weird ginger doing black hair?
Yeah.
You would be even more pasty.
Well, it was around the time when, the sort of goth scene was like the big thing. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Did you do eyeliner too?
When Blade was the thing, you know what? I had a friend because I'm not gonna fucking be able to do it myself. Fuck no. So I had like my bandmate's like sister. I had her kind of try and do it on the train into like college.
Ooh,
and
on the train.
Like all I can say about it is I don't understand how women can deal with that because like fuck my life, I wanted to scratch my eyes out. It's just the worst.
They spend a lot of time learning how to do that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was done by somebody who knows how to do it. Like, if I tried to do it, I'd have probably blinded myself.
Oh yeah.
So, go figure. I'm glad I didn't blind myself. So
that was one of the big. So the daughter about to be 14 here, right? So for Christmas, she wanted a sit-down mirror with the lights around it so she could do her makeup, and she needed drawers because she had a lot of products. Like a lot, folks. Okay.
I've seen some people who have a lot of products, and
there's a lot of
bit mad.
What is it? What is it that they show? Is it Ulta? I think it's Ulta, right? Yeah. My wife is like some super ultimate level at Ulta due to all the crap that my daughter has purchased there.
I mean, Dawn might know more about that, but I have no fucking clue.
It's a place to get stuff.
Oh, okay.
For girls.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that's
just all about the altar.
Yeah.
That sounds so fucking wrong. But whatever.
Yeah, she is. She has kind of grown up in the birthday thing. Not enough to not get a big deal made about her. They're going to one of those Japanese steakhouses, hibachi, where they cook it in front of you. And they have a big thing. They got the disco ball going and all kinds of crazy shit that goes on, and they sing happy birthday and have a big music thing. So her and 5 of her closest friends are going to dinner there. And my wife didn't invite me. I'm like, babe, what's not to love about hibachi?
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Oh, man. Sorry about that. I had something like still kind of something a little bit fucking caught in my throat at the moment.
Weird.
I don't know why.
I hate when that happens.
It's just kind of awkward, right? But yeah, sorry about that.
So we still got a couple minutes here. We can talk a little bit about Palworld, because I actually downloaded it and played. Number 2 son came down this morning. He's like, "Hey, Dad, we get Palworld for free with Xbox One Pass." I said, "But you already used that, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, we don't get to use it for every member of the family, right?"
Exactly.
So, but
so you went and bought it anyway.
I went and bought it anyway. I did not get the bundle with the soundtrack, right? Because why?
Yeah.
So I did. I played it for about an hour. It is.
We lasted 15 minutes, guys. By the way, 15 minutes.
No. I haven't died.
No. I mean, I don't mean like you lasted 15 minutes in the game. I mean, like we lasted 15 minutes before we talked about Palworld.
Oh yeah, we lasted. Yeah. So, no, my son does not play Eve. No, he's a first-person shooter guy, but he's gonna. I'm gonna need to eat soon. I haven't figured out how to make a campfire to eat. So, I trained the campfire, but I can't figure out how to build a campfire.
There's this wonderful thing called Google.
No, I like to kind of learn and look at the in-game info and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I haven't figured out.
Man, okay, be interesting to see how far along you get in Tarkov with that, with that ideology. Let's put it that way.
So, and I haven't thrown accurately enough to catch any one of the little pals. So, hopefully I'll do that. But I have a workbench. I got my pick. I got my axe. I'm gonna make a club because I'm tired of using the pick and the axe to kill pals. So, but I have some food. I just need to cook it, and I'm starting to get hungry, and I haven't figured out how to do that. And then I think the server went down. I couldn't reconnect to it. So, but then it's time to do the show, so I had to go do that too. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's nice. I like. I play with the Supreme Gaming crew. They're pretty cool, but they just put that server up. I play their Atlas on their Supreme Atlas server, which is probably the best set of servers I've found, because one thing I hated about Atlas was if you own an island, trying to defend that island constantly, because that was just fucking insane. Okay.
Wow. I mean, I've heard some horror stories about Atlas and
terrible.
People getting basically, just invaded by either the most toxic people or just people abusing the living crap out of bugs and shit like that. So.
Oh yeah. But so what Supreme does is it has PvP areas on the grid, and there's only about, I think, 4, 5, or 6. I forget which, but it's not very many, and they're right in an area. And you sail in there, and you want to fight, or you want to have an island, you want to fight. You go there. Everything else is you just have your own things, and they have their own mod for the game, like supreme structures and things that really just take all of the grind away. I'm like, I've been playing it solo because Scythe hasn't been playing. He started and then he quit for some reason. I forget why. He got mad at the game or something. And I haven't seen a couple other people, but I play on the Supreme server. I have like one island that I own, farm that island, but the farming is passive, which is great. But you do have to go get gold to do your island. But they do these ships and the way that gold is distributed, I probably have, and I don't, by the way, I don't play that much, right?
You're very much a casual player in that regard, yeah.
Absolutely, which makes it really nice because I can go out and I can fight other ships and do what I want when I want to do it. And, I probably have 80, 90,000 in or more in gold just laying around, right? So, I've got enough on my flag.
That's kind of like an arbitrary number at this point. But okay.
So
I will assume that that's probably a fair amount as a casual.
I can probably go and paying my island payments and my crew payments and all that stuff. I mean, that's probably 5 or 6 months worth of gold.
Oh,
if I didn't do any income at all. Yeah,
that's pretty fucking decent. Jesus. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so my real key is gathering enough of the resources to build
what you need.
Higher level things. So, they have things that are like to build a mythical anything. You don't just need, one type of metal. You need 5 types of metal. So you got to go kind of farm it and bring it home, right?
Okay.
So I've got 3 farms. I can get 3 types of metal and stuff pretty easily. So it takes the grind out of it, but it leaves the exploring into it. You get that, right?
Right. Mm.
So I kind of like that. So we'll see how this, I heard, what is it? Palworld didn't Nintendo just sue them?
It's not been started, but they're investigating.
Yeah, they've put a statement out saying that they're going to be investigating because, like, the thing is, was it like when I read like Palworld has like 100 different monsters and stuff, and people have gone through and taken screenshots and all that kind of stuff and compared them to a lot of Pokemon, and a lot of them have. It's not just like a resemblance of them. It's, quite significant, near blatant sort of.
I'm gonna say, yeah,
like almost copying of them.
It feels pretty similar.
Yeah, but the funny thing is when you read through what is essentially the studio owner's kind of account of the development of Palworld or just kind of the development of the studio to this point, like I can understand to some degree why a lot of the pals are look very, very similar because they had like, I mean, it's like it. I don't think it's like. I don't think I'm being harsh to say that it's an amateur operation, right? Because very much the studio owner essentially said, like, we are amateurs at this. We are stumbling through game development in the process of creating this game.
It is a blatant Pokemon ripoff. And, there are plenty of games out there that do that, but they're also not, like, dumb enough to go, hold on, let me design something almost frame for frame the exact same as, the very litigious company that almost always wins.
Well, yeah,
going up against like Nintendo, yeah. But I think there was probably a fair amount of people on the team that didn't realize that all of the pals that they were creating were Pokemon ripoffs. Or
That's impossible.
Very close to Pokemon ripoffs. I don't know. Like, but then again, this is the thing, Dawn. Like, I don't know how many.
Okay,
McLeod,
McLeod, let's walk through this. Okay.
Okay.
They're in Japan. This is a Japanese company. They're in Japan.
Right. Yeah.
Pokemon is the most successful and highest grossing franchise of all time.
Right.
There are Pokemon everywhere in Japan.
There's fucking Pokemon sushi. All right.
There's like Pokemon restaurants, Pokemon stores, like Pokemon hotels, like they're everywhere. There is no way that they had no idea that something was the same.
Dawn, I know.
I'm gonna tell you.
I know that there are. I grew up. You know, when Pokemon was, you know, came about, like through all the fucking things. Had like friends who enjoyed playing Pokemon, talked about Pokemon. You know, collected cards, fucking swapped, all that kind of shit, right? Like, I wasn't into it, but like, I had friends who were into it. You know, I've fucking seen, you know, all of that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, maybe I didn't live in fucking Japan, right? But I've seen Pokemon stuff. I've been about people who, you know, who love that who love that stuff, right? I know. You know, the you know, various different fucking Pokemon. So like if I see a you know, fairly well known Pokemon, I will know it's a fairly well known Pokemon, like, you know, in that regard. But a lot of the fucking ones that are basically being considered to be rip-offs of Pokemon, like, I mean, I wouldn't have known that they were fucking Pokemon.
Oh, by the way,
fucking honest.
To Eric,
because they're not like the fucking well known ones. They're not the really fucking, you know, they're not the ones that people who don't know Pokemon like religiously. They're not the ones that people would you know, point to and go, yes, that one's a Pokemon, for, you know, from a lineup.
Yeah. I'm not so sure it's not a style. I mean, I look at Hello Kitty, like, and she looks like a fucking Pokemon.
Like, you know, which one's, you know, from the lineup, which one's the Pokemon, which one's the Digimon, which one's the one from Yu-Gi-Oh, like, you know, which one's from Palworld, like, you know, I could, you know, if it wasn't one of the fucking obvious ones from Pokemon, I wouldn't fucking know.
Yeah,
so
I don't know,
you know,
but
unless
it feels
really
like that.
Into it, then fair enough. But like, I think most of the people who were working on the game didn't, unless they were the actual, you know, visual effects artists. And like, and honestly, the if you read the fucking you know, the tell all of how the whole game came to be, like, it was basically like,
their company's called Pocket something, right?
Hang on, fuck, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's like Pocket something. Yeah,
it's like Pocket Pals or Pockets. I know Pockets in the name. Does anyone know in the room what Pokemon is? It is the shortened for Pocket Monster. Like, they were heavily the fact that this. There we go. See, like, the fact that the CEO didn't even.
Okay.
I don't care if you want. I don't care that they made the game. I just think that they're the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, you know, you can't just be like, oh, because it's got Pocket in the thing, they're clearly ripping off stuff. Like, you know, fucking hell. Like,
hold on. So
their name is. I can't make a game or a company called with the word "the" at the start of it because somebody else has fucking made a company or a game with "the" at the start of it. Like,
McLeod,
you know,
stop giving them the benefit of the doubt here. Their company name is Pocket Pair.
No, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm just making you kind of understand that, like, you know, maybe a little bit of this is taking the piss a bit. Like,
no, absolutely not. So their name is called Pocket Pair. You capture creatures in a ball to force them to fight other creatures. Most of those creatures look like Pokemon and have the abilities of Pokemon. Like, that's too many coincidences.
I think there's probably a fair few other games and franchises that are like out there that do similar things, but have been fine. I don't know for certain, but like, you know, what I imagine what I imagine the lawsuit is eventually gonna occur is Nintendo are gonna wait a fair long while until was it Pocket Pair has really brought in a lot of money, and then they're gonna go, we're suing for damages. After the full kind of bell curve kind of has occurred, right, in terms of monetary income for this game, and then they're going to go, this is a blatant ripoff. You've basically stolen the thunder out of a game that we were developing, a new Pokemon game that we're developing, and we are owed X amount of X percentage of the amount of money that you made out of this. And it's not going to be an insignificant percentage either. It'll be a pretty fucking large percentage. If not all of it. I don't know. But it's gonna be a fucking ludicrously large lawsuit. I'm certain of it. But I think they're biding their time specifically because they want Palworld to rake in as much money as they can, so when they do drop the lawsuit, that they're going to get the maximum amount of damages.
Yeah, to give you an idea of how awful Nintendo is they basically, someone was showing people how to mod one of the games years ago, 20-something years ago. It's a very famous lawsuit for Nintendo, but basically Nintendo just did not like this guy. And so they decided to use him as an example to ward off others from doing what he was doing. And they basically sued him into the ground for $10 million. And he's just...
I mean, there's already been mods. There's already been mods made of replacement mods made for Palworld to actually legitimately take the PALs and replace them specifically with Pokemon, full on replacement sort of thing. And that guy, the person who made that mod for Palworld, that guy has already been sued by Nintendo. And so there's people who are asking who are sort of asking well, why has he been sued and Pocket Pair hasn't? And it's the only thing that I can imagine is they want to do a full-on investigation, but they also want to, make sure that Palworld brings in as much money as they can litigate away from them. That's how I see it.
They may. Also, it's a company that's a little bit larger, so it might be worth it to make sure that they've got more going. Well,
I mean, fucking hell, the amount of money that the amount of sales that they've had, 8 million. They've crossed 8 million at the moment.
Yeah.
Which for a $30 game is, do the math. That's fucking crazy. Crazy.
I hope people enjoy it because they should enjoy it while they can because it will not be around.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, it's a team of 50 and they spent 3 years making it. I think they spent 5 years. I think the studio's only 5-6 years in total, from the ground up, and they spent 3 years making it, and they grew from I think a team of 10 when they started actually making Palworld to a team of 50, I think, and most of that is just people that they found from it's funny because they found a good 10 or so people, hired 10 or so people, from Twitter itself, just finding people on Twitter. There's people who were fans of the previous games that they made because they made I think it was 3 games they'd released, and there was a fourth one which the first one that they made that they hadn't released. That obviously drew some interest to them and some people who were making some stuff, but some of the crazy stuff that they had that they were going against when they were developing or making their company is just nuts. Absolutely fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
But it's interesting because the first game that they ever made, right? They were basically trying to pitch it to. They made a game. They were just trying to pitch it to various different publishers, right? And most of the publishers didn't really give a fuck as to what the game was. They just cared really about how good the company was, whether the company had a good profile in terms of their company history, the liquidity and all that kind of stuff. Like, they didn't really care about the product at all. Aside, the only time they really cared about the product was whether it was using a well-established IP, whether it was using terms and stuff that people had or had already known and stuff like that. And it's basically, essentially, I mean, if you've ever watched like Dragon's Den or I don't know, is Dragon's Den the same? Is it the same in the US, Dragon's Den, or is it something else?
We have Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. So Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, that kind of thing, right? Like, if you've ever seen that, like, you have investors who basically, then they don't really care too much about the product. They just care about whether the product is working and whether the people who are showcasing the product know how to run a business, right? And that's essentially what these publishers are doing, which is basically like investors basically saying, do you know how to run a business? And honestly, because I think it was like 2 or 3 people at this time. Like, honestly, they didn't know how to run a business. They just wanted to make a game. And it was just absurd. It was absurd how, like, ludicrous the games industry has become in terms of just, being a passion project. Like, if you're making a game as a passion project, then you best enjoy getting into debt because and publishing it yourself, because that's the only way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, just
because that's what they did. That's basically what they did. They didn't have anybody. They didn't have any company that wanted to publish it because they had no history for running a company in any way, shape, or form. So no publisher wanted to actually basically bite on that particular thing.
Which game?
They had to. It was an unreleased game that they did. And then they released, I think, 3 others. Like, they essentially went, okay, well, we'll do it ourselves then. How difficult will that be? And apparently, like, releasing things on Steam is actually fairly straightforward. To do it like by yourself without having like a big team kind of thing, but they still had like so many. They were amateurs in so many different ways when they came to making this game. It was fucking ludicrous. But yeah, I can understand why. I can understand why a lot of the fucking things seem to be plagiarized, and they probably are. Do I think it's right? No. Do I think it was the only way that they were actually going to get a finished game by the time, before they actually ran out of money? Probably. But we'll see what we'll see. Because like, I mean, it was it's a passion project for them for making this sort of thing. Some of the kind of fucking stuff. So they hired a 20-year-old who had no industry experience, who was working part-time at a convenience store, and they didn't realize. And he ended up being like apparently a fucking amazing coder and an amazing sort of like was it modeler and animator in some way, shape, or form, but like very specifically for guns in a weird way. But the other thing is that when they came to actually making like all the like figuring out like, oh, we need monsters and all that kind of thing, and who's going to animate it, who's going to like develop it and all that kind of stuff. They didn't really have anybody. Like, they had to find somebody. And then they realized the amount of workload that they needed. They were planning for 100 different monsters, and they needed like at least 20 different like animations for each monster, and each of those was going to take at least a day. And so they were like calculating, just going like, Jesus Christ, we're going to run out of money like easily before this is finished, and it was literally scrambling all the fucking time to find some people to work with this, because it wasn't like they were a large company. It's not like they had like a department for recruitment or anything like that. Like they were just literally scrambling around, getting as much help and hiring as many people as they could find to get this out the door. It's fucking crazy. But
by the way,
Palworld, and it's just gone like fucking crazy.
By the way, I give a shout out to Laszlo Holyfield, who 8-month subscription at Tier 1. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Hazza, for the raid as well.
And by the way, Laszlo Holyfield.
Yeah, still.
By the way, I always forget to ask him. What percentage of the prizes did you actually win, Laszlo? By the way, did anybody get that? What did you get that reference?
Oh no! Well, I mean, Dawn might. Dawn's American.
Laszlo's laughing. He gets it. He knows because he knows. Because he knows.
Laszlo wins a million stuff.
Real genius, absolutely, Sincline. That's one of my favorite. Like, I think that was an '80s show, right? Wasn't it? It was. Yeah, Real Genius.
Oh, okay.
The other good is may I tell you? I think this is not a direct quote. This is because I don't have it.
Val Kilmer in it.
Yeah. May I compliment you on your choice of slippers? And they were pink. I think pink bunny slippers, right? 1985. Holy shit! By the way, I think I was 1 year old
then. Like Christ. Like
okay,
that was before my time.
I was in high school. You're 1 year old. I'm in high school already, motherfucker.
Jesus Christ.
What, in 95?
Oh yeah.
I would have been 6 years old.
85, not 95.
Oh, 85? Oh, I wasn't alive yet.
Yeah. High school. I was probably driving. I had a license. I was driving. I had a car. I had everything. Oh, Lazarus Holyfield. That's cool. That's cool, Laz. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And I love, Val Kilmer's shirts in there, like, kill me. It's like, I love toxic waste. That's like my favorite shirt. I never found a shirt that was like that, or I would have bought it. But yeah, he has one.
A bit mental.
Because he's a scientist and he's applying to be a scientist and all this stuff. He's one of the smartest people, most recruited people coming out of college, right? So, you have the gorilla shirt. Oh, that's cool, Lazo. That is cool. But yeah, I love toxic waste. And then he's interviewing for some really top scientific job doing something, right? And he's got like, like the little springy antenna things you put on your head, right? And they have glitter balls on the top of them, right? And there's this real serious scientist that's there, and he kind of comments on it. He goes, guys, I didn't want you to think that I was just stuffy and didn't have a real life, right? Some geeky, stuffy guy, right? Meanwhile, I think that's the scene where he's wearing the I Love Toxic Waste shirt too. But yeah, it's kind of funny. And then the guy says, I'm the scientist that developed this satellite, blah 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 blah. And Val Kilmer makes this comment like, isn't that the one that's raining debris down all across the Saharan desert or something? I forget where the geographic location was, and the guy runs off in a huff. Right? It's funny. But Laszlo is a dude that lives in the basement. He comes in and out their their closet. That's like the entrance to his secret lair, right? And he is down there, and he has an automatic machine filling out all these cards. And I forget what the company is having a giveaway, right? And he anticipates he's going to get X% of all the prizes, right? Based on all this stuff, all the things he's mailing in, right? So it's yeah. Oh, people at DEF CON get that shirt. That's cool. Yeah, they should. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it is one of my all-time favorite movies. I have a set of movies which I love and I will watch over and over. Yet I married the girl who doesn't ever want to watch any movie twice.
No.
Terrible. I'm like, she's like, what are you watching? Right? And I'll be like,
I mean, if you get every single reference and every single kind of like little bit in every single Hot Shot, like in both Hot Shot movies, I'd be fucking impressed, because like there are that thing is so densely packed with little fucking gags. It's insane.
Did you
that's why you could rewatch those films again and again and again. Like,
oh yeah, my wife doesn't understand. I think we went to the movie theater and they had Monty Python Holy Grail, right? And I think there was even one thing at least that I had never seen in all the times watching it, right? The movie Hackers. Oh yeah, guilty pleasure, Laszlo. I can watch Hackers over and over. It's like, real genius. By the way, secret movie I love watching is, I don't know why, but it's like Crazy Rich Asians.
I love that movie.
I love that. My wife. I hear 2 is in the works.
Yeah.
I hear number 2 is in the works. Right. But and my actual favorite part of that whole movie is, I'll try not to give it away. I'll just give you a place to look. Okay. They have a bazooka that fires fireworks for the bachelor party. Okay.
Okay.
And one of the last times that they fire that bazooka is fucking hilarious. Okay. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, one of 2 things need to happen. Either A, in real life, I need to own that bazooka. Okay. That's number 1. That'll probably never happen. Right. The second thing is, that bazooka needs recreated in some video game so we can just shoot it. Okay. All right. Number 1, a bazooka with fireworks. Number 1 is just cool, but it's what happens when he fires it the last time before they cut away. And by the way, it's off in the distance. It's in the back, but it's very clear what happens.
Right. So it's sort of it's like that little thing that you may miss if you're not looking, but it happens in the background.
But and since Laszlo brought up the movie Hackers, a new guilty pleasure of mine is a YouTube channel. Okay.
Oh.
And by the way, I'm going to say the guy's name, and I want to see if anybody in the audience or you guys know which channel I'm talking about. The dude's name is pierogi. One of the greatest foods ever invented.
Mm-hmm. They're Polish.
Everybody's going into YouTube and looking for pierogi.
The dude's name is pierogi.
That's what he goes by.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
I think I know which one you're on about.
Okay.
I've heard it. I like,
Yeah. So
food stuff.
So it's not food. Not food related channel. Not a food related channel. It is the Scammers Payback channel on YouTube. Okay. Okay. So if you're like a tech geek, you're gonna watch this. You're like, dude, how do I get involved with these people? How do I do this?
Oh yeah,
I
know
so much fun.
I like Kit Boga a little bit more.
But basically, it's like internet scammers that scam people. Okay.
We're not internet there, but yeah. It's phone scammers that try to like get money out of old people, being like, your computer's infected. I will help you. Or like, let me refund you the money that we charged like a year ago. And they're like, what? And it's like, I'm sure that we charged you. We owe you $4.99. And then they accidentally say that they give, we did a refund of $4,000 instead of $400. I need you to send me that money back.
Mm-hmm.
But Kit Bogue is funnier because he tries to spend like an hour. So Pierogi and there's another guy that Brown or something. Those two will try to go in and like destroy their computers and slow them down. But Kit Bogue, he can do it, but what he prefers to do is he'll like play a character. So he's got his granny one, and be like, the postman in his khaki pants, and just like he has kept different scammers on the phone for like a total of like 12 hours. More than once. Christ. So where, like maybe like 5 hours one day and like 7 hours the next day or something.
Well, I'm currently watching a big one that they did. It's about an hour long video that they've got on there. But what they do is, one of the big things that they do to get access to your PC is they use like TeamViewer or any PC or whatever it is, and they get access to your computer
kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they get you to access. But what they do is they reverse that and get access to the scammer's desktop, and then they start stealing all their files, and do their investigation. And then they find out where they are, right? And then they get access somehow, and I don't know how they do it, right? But they do it, right? So these scammer locations have like CCTV in there, videotaping.
Some of them do.
Yeah. And so he gets access to that feed, and he shows it to you. Right. And he shows their reactions when they're talking to them and things like that. So it's the amount of money that just with 2 or 3 people that these guys are pulling in on a monthly basis. They did and they do things like, hey, my PC's infected or whatever. And they get the top search things on Google with the Google AdWords and things like that. They show you how they do it. So it's super, super interesting to watch. By the way, if they've got access to the remote PC, while the other, by the way, they're using virtual PCs, right? So they're not really using their desktop, right? So there's nothing really on their PC that can be exploited, right? But the person who's working with them, if they're not careful, can see that they're downloading files and stealing things from the scammer's PC. If they're not careful. So it kind of shows a little bit how dumb some of these people are because you got to grant access, right? You got to click, say, I'm going to give you access, right? So the scammer has to give them access back when they ask for it, right? So, and so, it shows what they're doing, and they show some of the files they get and how it all works. And it's just fabulously interesting in my mind. Of course,
you reminded me of like the capabilities of somebody who knows how to do something with very little to go on or very little to use can just do something completely mental. Like it reminded me of some it was like a news report of somebody who was I think it's a guy called Lapsus, and he was like. I think he'd. I found the sort of article. Just trying to find the like bit specifically, but he like ended up in a hotel room, and he ended up using the hotel room TV and like Amazon Fire Stick to hack into some fucking place.
Holy shit!
You go like. How even does that fucking work? Like, but yeah, apparently, in his third hacking spree, apparently, he was caught red-handed when a City of London police searched his hotel room, and in a flagrant disregard for his bail conditions, because he was out on bail, right? So he was out on bail. He was in a hotel room. Obviously, didn't have like a laptop, or anything like that, like super crazy. But he was in a hotel room. And In a flagrant disregard for his bail conditions, jurors were told that the police found an Amazon Fire Stick in his hotel TV, allowing him to connect to a cloud computing service. He basically ended up, he'd helped to attack Revolt, Uber, and Rockstar Games from that hotel room.
Oh my god.
Like, what the fuck? You know, so that's the thing. Like, if you know how, if you have like that fundamental knowledge of how to do stuff, like, yeah, you can. It seems that you could use like almost any fucking tool to do it. Like, so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is fucking nuts.
Is there a Plex sale going on?
Usually.
I don't think it's a Plex sale as such. Like, if there is, then fair enough. But like, I know that CCP's kind of released a bunch of packs recently, like new ones.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
By the way, I still don't know how to build the fucking campfire in Palworld, but okay. The wiki. By the way, Dawn, the fucking wiki doesn't help. All right, just saying.
What?
Doesn't help.
Sounds like you're not trying hard enough.
Just saying. Just saying. Just says it's craftable.
So there's a bunch of starter packs that apparently there's a like a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum starter pack that apparently CCP has released. I don't think there's anything inherently super fucking terrible in those packs. Like nothing, nothing like gold ammo or something that you can only get by paying money kind of thing. But like,
I'm going to sneeze, so I'm going to apologize to everybody in advance. I'm going to lay here trying to avoid it right now. Yeah. But Laszlo said something about Plex sales. So.
Well, I mean,
By the way, we got, like, last week when I did the big snowy background, right, because it was snowy, okay? It's probably like 50-something degrees out now. I mean, I went to bed one night and there was a beautiful blanket of snow over everything, and then I came out and it's like all green.
Just all gone. Like all green, yeah.
All gone. I'm just like, it was a sad day.
Like, no, winter's finished. Yeah. Well, I mean, Lazo seems to enjoy Plex sales because it drives the price of Plex down. That's understandable, completely. But I think that Plex sale. It's always. I mean, when Plex sales go down, then obviously people take advantage of that by plexing their accounts via in-game Plex because it costs less, right? So it also drives the amount of Plex being bought as well. More. So if you have Plex, like, yeah. I mean, Plex is always it seems to always be a good place to sort of park Liquidisc, to be completely honest. Like, it's, I mean, you look at the trend line for the price of Plex, and it is always on a bit of a, slope upwards. So it's always good. But yeah, Dawn, you want to talk any about anything specific relating to EVE Online? Normally, like we have the rule normally because you're chomping at the bit to want to talk about something EVE related. So like,
I guess I'm leaving in a few minutes. So, but
what? Why?
Because she's got fucking she's a director. She has space. She's apparently
priorities. I'm eating more.
So the only thing that of note that I've noticed is so like Locust the mining stuff that I do. The last 4 out of the 5 weekends that we've been mining, we have had to have 2 fleets of miners.
Like, oh wow, that sounds good.
Like 300 people mining, or 300 characters. I take that back, not people.
Did you really want to paint that target on your back? Good job.
Whatever, they can come find me.
All right.
It's not like it's hard to find me. But also like, you know, the ratting beehive has also got more people in it than normal. Like this month, I don't know what's going on, at least with this month, but like overall activity has gone up.
Well, that's good.
It's not like anyone's doing anything different than normal. I don't know. Maybe people are just like, every other game out there sucks. Might as well just do this instead. I don't know.
Well, I have heard that, like, apparently we seem to be putting the hurt onto PanFam a little bit up north, seemingly.
Depends. Last night I was annoyed. I went on a fleet while feeling terrible, and it took like 2 hours to get like really anywhere. Arcadios did a great job, but because there was lag, my ship decided that even though it said it was following the FC, it just flew off in its own direction.
Interesting.
And within like 15 seconds in tie-dye, the FC is now 86 kilometers from me. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I didn't do anything. I was trying to target something, and I guess it decided to double click me towards my target, even though it said I was still following the FC.
Interesting.
I know.
So it fucking happens. It always fucking happens, and that's why, like, it's been drilled into me in terms of fleet fights that I'm like, you know, you. Well,
the thing is, I was worried that
you do your usual, and then you go back and you click your FC and you click approach, or you click your FC. And
that's
you click,
the thing is, like,
you know, keep at range. You know, like all the usual kind of things. Like you always move around to re-clicking that to make sure that you are always, you know, you're always.
Well, that's the thing is, like, that's why I checked, because like it'll say like approaching blah blah if it's something different, like if it's not the FC's ship name.
Approaching a point in space, like
like it'll say that, right? This time it didn't ever, and I was like, what the fuck? This is some bullshit. So we made it.
Well, there's also kind of thing if, like, you know, I mean, if FCs are being targeted, then they have if FCs are doing their job kind of well and they have backup FCs or backup anchors, like, you know, they have the capability of being able to just, you know, do a quick scoot, you know, on grid and then come back in, kind of thing, just to break locks and break a potential alpha strike kind of thing situation, then they'll do that. And yeah, if you're anchored on them and you don't realize that that's happened, then yeah, that will definitely break your anchor, and you'll go flying off in one random direction. But that's normally what happens is they call a new anchor point, and you know, you anchor on them. But you should know that anchor point. You should have them watch list as you know, backup anchors anyway. So yeah. It's just, you know, remaining observant to what's happening on the battlefield. But,
it's just really fucking annoying to just die like that.
You gotta practice your F2s, Dawn. I'm sorry to say.
It's really annoying.
Hey, you know, sometimes the game is a little bit more difficult than it normally is. I mean, in Initiative, we kind of actually try and make it difficult specifically just to, you know, get people to learn how to be a little bit better in the game. I mean, fucking hell, my first experience with micro, you know, jump generators and micro jump field generators and, you know, that kind of stuff. Fuck, that was a new teaching moment for me. that was some stuff that I had to really concentrate on.
All right, well, I'm being summoned for my meeting, so I will talk to y'all later.
Take care, Dawn.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, so I don't. What do you want to discuss here, Eric? Like, there's a few things.
So right? I'm gonna. I need a quick minute.
You know what's annoyed me though? Do you know what has really fucking annoyed me? Is
what?
Of the two people here, in the Push Talk crew who are, who do basically front run the entirety of Anger Games. Neither are fucking here when they get a shout out on Pulse.
I know.
Like, what the fuck? Come on, guys! Jesus Christ! I mean, I know that Soth is having some nether region issues as such. But
I know, and didn't one of them say they were going to be here? By the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I was gonna say something in the ping, related to Soth not understanding how to use Pepto-Bismol. Right.
Right.
I mean, I told Soth, Soth's like, oh, my tummy, look, he was crying a little bit, guys. Come on. I mean, we're gonna throw him under the bus and talk badly of him because he's not here to defend himself, because that's what we do with each other. But he's like, I'm like, dude, Pepto-Bismol is your friend. He goes, well, will that allow me to do the show and keep me off the toilet? And I'm like, have you never in your entire life ever used Pepto-Bismol? I mean, seriously. It's the wonder drug, okay? It coats, it soothes, it relieves, okay? By the way, we're not sponsored by Pepto, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, but that's what I do, motherfucker. Okay, burpee officer. It's like burpee officer. He's like the officer of, seeds, burpee seeds, right? No, I mean, it's what I do. It's how I talk. Okay. Like, all right. Like.
He'd definitely be one of those people who will. I mean, he's it's one of those sorts of people who.
Holy shit!
Not you at all.
Holy shit!
Yeah, lots
holy shit! That's one of my favorite Belushi lines. A little bit better,
Soth.
Yeah, how you feeling, buddy? We're making fun of you. We're making fun of you a little bit.
You're making fun of me. All right.
Well, no, we're making fun of both you and Dirk because you've finally got a shout out on by CCP and by shout out I mean by another one, but like actually one in a video rather than just a banner, right? And then the one show that we have after that is neither of you here.
I am here.
You are here, so I'm thankful for that. Dirk can go fuck himself. Because literally, he's the one who said, "Oh yeah, I'll be there in a minute."
Yes.
And you were the one who was like, "I literally have an arse emergency." As such.
Yes.
I can't deal with this today.
I have a weak bloodline.
Yeah, and you're the one who's able to make it, and Dirk is just MIA. I don't know. Maybe he touched his elbow on something again. Fuck knows. Guy's like a walking china shop. I'm glad you're here, dude.
Yeah, I might vanish suddenly.
Suddenly, right? That's understandable. That's totally understandable.
I think the worst is over.
Oh, good.
Good. I'm gonna go look. I'm looking at the guinea pigs, checking them out.
It's definitely not
very
the best,
quiet over there.
Best of situations. No, I understand that sort of. Apparently, there is an aspect of Anger Games 6 that I didn't even realize. That has been announced fairly recently, at least in the Anger Games Discord. Is it something that can be made somewhat more public than that, or is it still like a work in progress kind of thing?
it's an experiment for sure.
It definitely seems like it.
So, Dirk
Fun
and I
experiment.
are not involved in that. Jinton is organizing that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
what he's basically doing is he's doing practices with randoms. Basically, if you want to learn a few things here and there from people who have a bit more experience at tournaments, you can just turn up to this open practice, and you get handed a ship and get put in a team at random, and then those teams fight.
That's pretty cool. Like, I mean, he referred to it as like sort of Anger Games 6 solo queue experience, right? Like, so you're basically paired up with 6 other people, or I think it's 6 other people, something like that.
Yeah, 6 other people.
into a squad of 7, like completely at random, and then you just. I mean, do you pick pick your ship and then you get? Well, I guess maybe
So
your
what
guess is as good as mine,
what is
right?
done is there is currently 11 comms that are pre-made. They have fittings and everything. Because the problem is, if you just let people bring anything, you could argue it's collusion, right? You are sharing your fits.
Yeah, no, that is true.
What we are doing instead is, or what Jin is doing instead, which is what we've asked him to do, is he has pre-made fits that are shared with everyone, because that means everyone knows these fits, right? There is no negative for anyone for not participating.
Okay, that's cool.
Right? No one gains information just from participating, so people aren't forced to do it.
I think that's a cool idea, though. Like, I think that's a really cool idea, being able to because I think a lot of people have that sort of desire to want to try, but don't really have enough for a team or enough resources to be part of, to potentially, bring a team to something like either Anger Games or, the Alliance tournament, right? So they're in this sort of halfway house of wanting to do it, but not having the resources or the players to be able to do it. So that's really cool.
By the way, Getaway Cars wants to know if there's a giveaway from Logitech this month. I think there probably is, but we don't know which show it'll be on, right? Because it moves around.
There's I believe there is going to be there's going to be a stream later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I think it's 2 a.m. Eve time. It'll be 2 a.m. tomorrow morning kind of thing. And that's basically that'll be a sponsored stream with a Logitech giveaway, but that'll be King Wolf actually doing a enshrouded stream, so playing enshrouded and doing a Logitech giveaway at the time. So if you're into that, then check that out for sure. And that'll be later on today. Later on today / early tomorrow morning for Euros. So that's the if you're looking for Logitech giveaway stuff, then go for that for sure. But we also do have Meta Show.
Meta Show today. Holy shit!
Yeah. Yep, Meta Show are starting to pick up with actually, being consistent in terms of their their shows. So, we had a Meta Show last week. We're having a Meta Show this week. It's definitely getting better. They're going to be talking Faction War. They're going to be talking CVA. They're going to be talking, the Minmatar Fleet Alliance. They even have a guest from the Minmatar Fleet Alliance, a guy called Bear That Cares. So yeah, talking about all things faction war, I guess. As well as a little bit of null. Because I imagine Brisk will want to talk about nullsec as well. So, you're probably going to be getting that. There was actually an interesting. I don't know if you saw this on the subreddit, but like there was an interesting post by Asher on the subreddit. You pick up on that at all?
I did not.
You did not? Oh, I'll read it out to you. Fucking great. This is just from Asher, right? In regards to PanFam's demand being made, in regards to PanFam's demands being made in the South, over the last few weeks, I've been approached by a number of heads of alliance that live in the southeast and southern areas of the map. All these alliances are neutral to the Imperium, and we do not have any agreements with them. What we've been told has been very similar. That goblins have approached them and brackets nicely demanded that they agree to never help goons, to never blue any Imperium groups, to allow Horde to place jump bridge networks in their space. Right. So these leaders of these non-aligned kind of groups have come and asked Asher what they think that the Imperium should do, and if the Imperium has any counteroffers and stuff like that. Asher goes on to basically say, what I've told them is I don't believe in a bipolar nullsec. I don't think that there should be only two powers, that there is plenty of space in nullsec for other groups to live and to grow. And Asher says, I tell them that if they think that they need to bend the knee to survive, I understand, but I don't have a counteroffer for them. We don't do ultimatums. If we do come to you with an offer, it's something that we believe will help both of us, but I don't want to be entangled in some random space 3 regions away from my core space. It's not our business. Maybe one day we will fight a war and, those neutral parties will be part of it, whether they're part of it for us again or against us. That's the nature of Eve, but I don't think I don't need to have tendrils all across the entire galaxy. If PanFam wants to control the entire map, I wish them good luck. We tried this a long time ago. It was very unfun. It was also bad for the game. You can live with a handful. You can live with a handful of regions. You can even have a very dense bit of space and still do quite well. I know that because the initiative and many people in the initiative still to this day talk about the good old times back when we were in, back in just like 2 areas, like 2 systems. Like the entirety of our alliance was just like basically in 2 systems, and it was a fucking amazing time. So you can live in a very dense. You can live very densely in a small region, and it's fine. You just you just have to know how to do it well.
That's also one of the reasons why I'm still advocating for CCP to make space smaller. Right, I personally think that a lot of systems are just unnecessary.
It is, but like when you're PanFam and you have this mindset of if that a system, regardless of what's in it, has a worth, right? And if you make space smaller and you make the ability of more people to live in a single system or that kind of thing, then the inherent value of that one system goes up quite a lot. And so they just see that as like, oh, well, if we are able to control more space, then then the value of all of that space goes up like considerably. So they just see it as a win-win in terms of that, because they're not looking at it in terms of how many people can the space accommodate. It's more very much a landlord, like, oh, my net worth of land value has just upped like considerably. So they just see that as a massive net win. Whereas that's just a horrible way of looking at things. And hey, Bard.
Hey, I've been in there for a while. Sorry, I've been looking at some stuff. I've got to cut in here though. Yeah.
Go for it, dude. Go for it.
I'm gonna bring back a classic that people have said for fucking years at this point. Mm-hmm. Ansiblexes need to die. If Ansiblex has died a painful death, maybe space would be less empty.
Who was it who was running on that, like in CSM?
Multiple people, multiple.
And
Mac.
I still disagree with that. I don't think we should kill Ansiplex. I think we should give meaningful counterplay to them.
Yeah, I don't disagree there, but there needs to be a counterplay of some form.
Yeah.
Like, it is far, far too easy for any group to deploy and stomp another one out at the moment. So that's why we're getting what we're getting. That's why Horde can go and threaten the groups in the southeast and go, yeah, give us an Ansiblex network, bend the knee, or die.
So would this come under the heading of the summit topics, Empires at War, Nullsec Resources and Conflict Drivers? Yeah?
And I would... Brisk has told me to fuck off. Brisk, are you still CSM? No, like genuinely, I can't remember who's CSM this year. He's out for a term, right? Okay. Because I was going to say, I've got a feeling this is the sort of shit that's going to come up on this term.
I mean, I hope so. Because it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, I mean, if there are other alternatives found that work, fine. I'm not dead set on one solution. I'm just saying that would probably go away to helping. Something desperately needs to change. Because as it stands, there's... Yeah, I mean, I know you've talked about it, Brisk. It's more the way that they're talking that this year's going to be focused on Null. I expect it goes from talking to finding actual solutions, which,
well, yeah,
have probably been discussed before, but now it will be finalised, sort of thing.
I mean, is that the case, or are they going to do the classic Icelandic thing of we've already come up with the solutions, we're just going to,
chaos.
We just want to see what your thoughts are about it, right?
Let me summon Dirk. And we're not going to test it because Sissy is closed.
That is the other. Yeah.
And this is one of those things where, like, because a lot of what has been discussed in terms of the changes that could potentially be coming to Nullsec is, like a version of faction warfare, right? But like, when it comes to jump bridges and Ansiblexes and all that kind of stuff, that's basically a layer on top of that faction warfare doesn't really have, aside from the ship casters, right?
Yes.
And even then, that's a different thing entirely. That's a completely different mechanic to some degree, right? Like,
yes, and in a way, you could theoretically twist that into something for Null, but I don't know. That's getting a bit too far.
I feel like people will be like, or like as soon as that kind of conversation happens, or if that sort of comment is made, like there'll be people like immediately going like, "What the fuck? Why are you introducing something that
I mean, it would
be
not
really designed for Nullsec."
It's not, but it feels, when you take away the whole you've got to pay materials to use this, it feels very much like jump bridges of old, but one way.
Yeah, but like you still used fuel. Like you still had to fuel them. Like,
oh yes, I just mean that there's no of this bullshit of having to put PI materials in it to feed it and do whatever. I don't know how these work properly. I've never got the handle on it. They're a weird one.
Hey, if you're out there and you know intimately how shipcasters kind of function as such, and feel like we're talking complete bullshit, then say something in chat. Like, honestly, I've never really kind of felt like, yeah, exactly. Like, and the utilization and the control of it on the other side is not really something that I think anybody has a handle on aside from CCP, really, right?
No.
So it's like, well, I don't know how, how that level of balance is going to occur when players get their hands on it as such. Who fucking knows? But I think the issue that people had with the Shipcaster, or the idea that the Shipcaster would come to players' hands, was the idea that, tell me if I'm wrong here, but they were able to cast ships into systems that were cyno-jammed? Or was that something that they rolled back on? I'm not sure.
I don't think they ever could, because it's all
there was definitely like some degree of controversy about that. Like I'm certain of that.
Oh, this might be because of is it incursions? They cyno-jam, don't they? I think it was that they bypassed that.
Incursions to cyno-jams.
I think it was that they bypassed that or something. Because I was going to say, you can't put cyno-jammers down in null, so what the fuck?
Well, you can put cyno-jammers down in null.
Sorry,
low.
God damn it. Yeah. God damn it. I'm losing myself here.
But yeah, it's so the question really is like, is that an aspect of the, if shipcasters come over to being something that is utilized in nullsec, is that going to be an aspect of it that is going to come along with it? In which case, I think a lot of people are going to get really fucking angry.
Plausibly. I don't know. The other thing, I'm going to nab Laszlo's comment and go off of that.
Hey, why not?
Wait, bear with me 1 second. Actually, I've got family here.
I mean, there needs to be lots of space for small groups, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
absolutely. I mean, isn't that kind of what the vision is from a CCP standpoint, right?
I like the fact that like the stuff that's happening in the north is being kind of spearheaded by Boss at the moment, which was one of the groups that lost space because basically Panda Fam decided no, third party space in here up near us, no thank you. And it's just like, it's not a good way of showcasing how good null is going to be for people who want to enjoy nullsec. There needs to. I'm very much in agreement that nullsec shouldn't be a one side and one just two sides, right? A polar kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, it's fine if it goes like polar whenever there's a big conflict, because it will always tend towards that, right?
Right. Sorry, I'm back. That was fucking family.
But it's all right. It's all good.
But yeah, when you look at that, right? I mean, when there's a big war and big things happen, right? If there are hundreds or thousands of small entities in nullsec, they are going to pick sides, just like a world war type of thing eventually happens, right?
Yeah.
For big conflicts. But in the grand scheme of things, right there. And by the way, Asher's note specifically says, right, goons believe this, right, that there is space for many small entities and everybody doesn't have to be part of the giant intergalactic polarized collective, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have many small groups, right, and the trick here is, small group A and small group B aren't constantly killing each other, right? They can all begin to survive. And if the big groups don't demand they bend a knee constantly, then there will be more groups, and they can go and do their thing, and there are more people enjoying it. when there are big conflicts, people pick sides and they fight, and more people get exposure to things.
Yeah, but that's also the thing, right? They don't even have to bend the knee when the big fights start going because they naturally want to pick a side, right? They want to take part in those conflicts because it's free content for everyone.
Yeah, it's fun. By the way, I don't mean they. I mean the bend the knee comment.
That's why you had so many like hangers on with the with fucking Vietnam. Like, so many people saw it as essentially a free, free content to sort of jump on. The unfortunate thing is it didn't really work out the way that they thought it was going to work out.
Yeah,
because, I mean, fair weather friends aren't like, good friends when the tide turns.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to jump back to what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
I don't think we're going to a big war, like Laszlo's mentioning. I don't think a war's going to happen. It's as much as we're positioning for it, everyone is off time zone to each other. And without functional changes to that mechanic, they'll come down south, they'll hit our stuff, we'll defend it during our time zone. We'll go up north, hit their stuff, and they'll defend it during theirs, and it will just be a shitty grind that goes fucking nowhere for months until everyone gets bored. There needs to be serious functional changes to the game.
And one of those functional changes that needs to happen is some degree of being able to affect people's time zone tanking.
Mm-hmm. I don't care which way that lands, even if it not rules, but you know what I mean. Even if it falls against us, but at least if there is the possibility for a change there that can create meaningful war, not just bashing a few structures here, bashing a few structures there, but nothing ever really dying. And it's
well,
a mess.
And that's one of the other kind of things is like, you take down a keep star, and the funny thing is, CCP thinking that like, people dropping keep stars wouldn't be, very much in the same way like people building Titans. It's like, there won't be more than 20 Titans in the game. People won't drop keep stars just to troll each other. Like, oh no, wait, no, they are. That's what's happening. People. Suddenly there's fucking shitloads of Titans in the game. Well, we didn't expect that. Well, fucking, take what's going on and then, advance it on to the nth degree. And you'll find that, these things will happen because you haven't built a system in that prevents that from occurring. There's no mechanic that says, a keep star died in this system, you can't anchor a keep star, for a set period of time in this system.
God.
Like, I'm not saying that is something that we should have, but like, if that is something that we did have, then it would have at least affected that ability for people to either troll people with keep stars or make the death of a keep star in a system be practically meaningless.
I mean, sorry, you bring back memories. My third highest ever post on Reddit is literally already replaced after a UALX. Do you remember UALX 6 years ago?
Mm-hmm,
PanFam killed the keep star.
One straight afterwards. I mean,
and then we dropped one straight afterwards. And
it's an amazing like middle finger to people, and to some degree there was a level of content that couldn't be done if you couldn't drop a keep star there straight away. So
but the thing is, there's
pluses and minuses on both sides, right?
Yeah, that was the example of it working well because 6 years ago, it was what? Imperium Legacy versus PanFam is some frat, but they weren't as big as they are now. And then whoever else they had.
It was NC.
Everyone was in
NC
time zone.
PL.
Yeah, we were all in EU US time zone. It just rolled through cleanly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we've got time zones are mirrored pretty much by 12 hours at that.
One of the awesome things about Eve is the comment that was just made by Bargos. Do you remember UALX 6 years ago?
Yeah,
hey, do you want to know something?
Okay. 6 years ago, right? Think about that in terms of video games, right? What other video game did we talk about? Oh, this shit happened 6 or 10 or 12 years ago. Like,
dude, do you want to feel even older?
Yeah, we already established old, right?
Okay, well, yeah, we have already established old as such, but do you want to? I mean, anybody who was around and to.
By the way, I just want to point out to everybody. I think I look younger than Brisk. I'm just going to point that out to everybody. Okay. All right, go ahead. Roll it.
If anybody here who was in BTEC R5,
okay,
that was 10 years to the day. It started January 27th, 2014.
Wow.
We would have been. We would have already have been, like, you know. Well, actually, the kind of like the ramp up started at about 1 in the afternoon, so we would have been 6 hours into the fight at this point in time 10 years ago. 1
in the afternoon, London time.
Yeah, like, you know, Eve time.
Okay,
so it started sort of like 1400 hours Eve time, so we would have been in that fight for about 6 hours at this point, like 10 years ago to the day.
Yeah, because I think every once in a while I like to go look at old, FanFest YouTube things, right? And Laz's talk on how that all started is one of my favorites, right? It's just fun because it gives you like little insights to things, right? And by the way, if anybody in the audience isn't part of a large coalition, right, or a large alliance, it's really interesting to see what really happens in the background of those big alliances, right? But yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That is amazing. By the way, I was not in BTEC-R. I was not in Goons yet at that time.
Okay. I wasn't in Initiative. No. Like, I was in Razor at the time.
Okay.
And I was actually in I was in a Dominic's being FC'd by an FC called Imperium, I believe. And he was FCing one of the battleship fleets in BTEC R5 when we realized that the was it the TCU went offline or something like that, or I think it was the TCU that went offline. And we were like, holy shit, we can literally just shoot because that's the thing, if you have a system that doesn't have a TCU, then you can shoot through the station, like through the shields, through the armor, through the hull, like in one go, and flip the station. And I think that was one of the situations where we were like, holy crap, like, they have everything stored in that station. If we go and we flip that station, we can deny docking rights for them and basically, what was the term for that? Like, there's a term specifically for that when you deny access to your enemy's like stuff.
I don't know. We're talking terms that are nearly a decade old.
PL used to do it when they would basically steal a staging system from people with spies and stuff. But essentially, we realized this and bat-phoned as many people as we fucking could to do it. And I think we got in touch with the Russians. And the Russians sort of came in. And Russians came in because it was their time zone. And it was just like, and at that point, it was like, we knew it was fucking on. And yeah.
It is crazy what an quote-unquote accidental take off a box can do.
Yes, exactly right.
Yes, mistakes happen. I mean, but they happen in the real world. I mean, that's kind of one of the cooler things about Eve, right? It's not idiot proof.
That was That was
Right?
one of the accidents that was very fortuitous for us.
Yes, definitely.
Operation
I mean,
Idaho kind of wasn't.
We would be very smug if it was done by a year-long spy of us. But this was clearly an accident, right? It's not. It's not
definitely
like
wasn't a game error or anything of that form.
Yeah. It's not like the person who was in charge of all of that ended up in Goons a month later.
Really?
See, you're bringing up stuff that has parallels to recent events, though.
Hey, it's fucking, history repeats itself, dude.
It does.
Hey, are we allowed to talk about the Princess Pink yet? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Sorry, that took me a minute to know what the fuck you are on about.
You fucking posted it.
Well, the people who don't know what he's on about, Bart Ghost is painting his nails now.
Yes, Princess Pink.
Pink. It's totally. I mean, it will be over my nails by the time it's done, so that is a fair point. God damn it.
I'm gonna laugh when you're like, fuck, it's not even coming off. Holy shit.
Oh no, the paint I used last week is still on my thumb. It is a bastard. And this is why I'm, given my job, we have that orange hand cleaning stuff with grit in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Even that's not getting it off. What? Even that's not getting it off.
I thought that destroys, just eviscerates anything.
It does.
It's made for oily stuff.
Yeah, but it also takes just grime out. It digs it out, but apparently not paint.
And not pink paint.
Oh no, I don't know about pink paint because I haven't used the pink yet.
It's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Oh god. And this is all because someone thought, oh yeah, what about that pink keep star? And it was there hold on.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna I'm gonna 3D print my own.
Suggested I should. Soft suggested I should.
Okay. This is Soft's idea.
Bigger also suggested that you finish up that Macario.
Yeah, I'm working on it. That is the only answer I have.
You've been working on it for a while at this point.
Yeah. Issue is, when it comes to stuff, I'm a bit perfectionist, so I'm not quite happy with where it's at.
Look, stop being a, tofu eating wokarati leftist and stop letting perfection be the enemy of okay or good.
Seriously, Burgos.
And just get it done and send it to Soft.
Yeah.
Since you opened the door, does anybody actually eat tofu?
No.
I hate tofu.
I mean, I've had tofu a couple of times and it's okay. It's much more prominent in Asian cuisine, especially Japanese cuisine. I don't have the capability of finding all the ingredients for decent Asian cuisine, cooking and stuff like that, to be able to actually do it. So, I've tried
Where the
to
fuck
find.
do you live? If you can't find the ingredients, you must live even more rurally than me.
I mean, dude, I probably have to travel an hour to find an Asian market of some form.
Jesus
Shit,
Christ.
we got this stuff in our regular American supermarkets. Right?
I went to look for sashimi grade tuna.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't find it. Just literally can't find it where I live, at all.
Whole Foods, baby. Whole Foods.
It's like it's something that doesn't exist over here, anywhere near where I live. If I went, do you guys stock sashimi grade tuna? And they'll be like, what did you say? Is that a thing that even exists? It's
10 minutes down the street, baby. Boom, bam.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Whole Foods, baby. They have the greatest everything. Might pay $8 million.
I'd like to try a few a few tofu kind of recipes.
Why?
There's apparently you can fry the sides of tofu to really get nice textural kind of stuff. But tofu is just essentially tofu is essentially a vehicle for any flavor that you want to add to it. I don't think it really has its own flavor, but it has this like it has its own texture, I believe. So like soft kind of texture. But you don't just want soft everything, so
Okay.
crisp it up.
Tofu is just those big brown art erasers that you can buy. Okay, that just disintegrate as you use them. Okay, that tofu is okay. Nobody in the audience said, oh wow, yeah, tofu, it's freaking amazing. But you McLeod, said, I wish I could find more tofu around here. I mean, really? Seriously?
Well, no. Well, I mean, it's not like I can't find tofu. No. It's just I can't find like most like good Japanese ingredients like to add to go with the tofu. Like, yeah, I could find tofu and I could like fry it up and like Pang says in chat, like, just taste whatever you cook with it. So, fry it up, get some crust on it. Fair enough, that's fine. But like,
can I
if I'm using tofu,
question.
Just in hot and sour soup, man. That's the only place I go for it. But yeah, I actually don't eat it.
The other thing I don't like about tofu is just like we have to cube it up. Why? Why does it always have to be fucking cubes? Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I've just got to ask, Mac. When did you become Dawn?
What?
When did you become Dawn?
How am I Dawn?
I didn't realize we're a cooking show.
Well, I brought up tofu.
Yeah. I mean, Eric brought up tofu, but like we haven't actually had the food element of the actual show because we always have a food element, like this.
But yes, I do.
It is true,
I do like hot and sour soup, and it's weird that you're eating things like bamboo and tofu and hot and sour soup.
I remember
one
like
of my favorites.
And I remember one of the previous shows we were talking about like what constitutes soup. Right, because there was a restaurant that had that was going to be a soup restaurant, and it was like,
no. That is somebody I knew that said, I have an idea for a restaurant.
Oh yeah,
just serve soup, but then all their other friends said why that would be terrible, idea. Right? And I'm sitting there going, I love this idea. I would go there.
It's a great idea. Yeah, exactly. There's and thinking about critically about like what soup is and what it entails and like what is in the nebulous of what that is. There's a fucking load of stuff. Like, I mean, ramen. It like, what's the difference between ramen and like a noodle soup? Right? There's a bunch of additional shit on it, but like, isn't ramen basically like a soup?
Yeah. And what are faux restaurants, right?
Exactly.
Faux restaurants are just soup restaurants.
Yeah, so
so much cool stuff you can do.
We've always had like food elements in the show.
Yeah,
you're just in denial, Bard. That's what's going on.
No.
Yeah. That's a river.
I'm gonna kill you, Eric. Honest to fucking God.
I like when my wife hands me an envelope from the mail that she has no idea what's in it, right? And I open it and and it's an insurance check. I do like that. Woohoo! For those who don't know, I recently, what is it? Well, it's been almost week and a half. I had a rare dental problem a while ago, and they had to pull the tooth, and they had to put a bone graft in, and they had to put a post in for an implant, right? So I actually had to pay for that when they put the post in, and I'm like, wow. That's expensive because they don't work with my insurance company, so I had to pay them the full amount, right? And had to wait for the insurance company to reimburse me. But to get reimbursed in a week and a half, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good.
Don't medical institution or medical kind of services like just write off a bunch of the costs under tax? Like, isn't that how that works? Like. You don't actually you don't have to pay the full amount. You pay, your insurance pays some of it and you pay some of it. And then the vast majority of the actual cost
Depends on your plan.
gets written off by the hospital or whatever.
No, not really for dentists. It's a little different for dental, but yeah. There's all kinds of rules and guidelines, by the way.
Oh.
Like, so full disclosure, that's kind of what my wife does with those plans and things. So she knows how they all work and all that stuff, and figuring out and all the government rules and regulations around them. That's like, what she does. But yeah, it was, I mean, I'm like really, really impressed that, I mean, if I paid for this with my credit card, I wouldn't even have my credit card bill yet, and it's already just paid for, covered. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with an insurance company. I was like, by the way, Rancho, U.S. medical doesn't suck. There may be some medical professionals that suck.
I think there was. I think the whole writing things off for for tax reasons sort of thing was something that I had no idea about. Like I think I learned that from a YouTube short of Pirate Software, like just one of those random things that you see Pirate Software talk about. If you recognize that name, it's just it's like a game dev guy who does like short explanations of certain things and stuff on YouTube. Pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, somebody said ancient way of doing things, No, actually, I had all this dental work done we've been working on, by the way, we've been working on this for about 9 months, right? This one particular, but it was all elective. I didn't need to have, a post put in for a whole implant done, right? Could have just had a tooth pulled. I didn't really need it. So no, I mean, for like 9 months, they did all this work to get this on. It wasn't until they were done with all this work that I had to pay anything.
But did they let you know how much it was? How much? Like racking up. Like
no, I knew the full cost before it all started. Right.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
Yeah, and by the way,
rather than just going, there's additional stuff on top of this.
Just out of interest, because I had something similar done. I got a bridge, right?
Okay. Well, not the same, but okay.
It's not the same. It's cheaper. But I do know what an implant costs in Germany. So I'm interested what that procedure costs in the US, because I imagine it's round about the same. Because well,
let's see, because I've got it. I've got it right here, right? So I'll tell you exactly what I had done. Okay, no super secret stuff here, right? I had to have the very last molar, on one side. Had to have that pulled. Had to have a bone graft put in there, and the hole drilled, the post, and the whole deal put in there, right? It was 2,451 US. Okay.
Oh, so
of which I had to pay $623.
Of that 2,000.
Of the 2,000, I had to pay $643.
Oh, nice.
So it is round about the same cost as it is in Germany, which shouldn't surprise me, because like it's the same procedure, right? It's the same materials. It's just that so often Americans get charged extra for health related stuff, right?
Just for reasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then plus, I mean, there's other things in that, right? So I had to pay
aesthetic, for example.
I had to pay the $2,450, right? And I just got a check here for $1,827, basically round numbers, right? And the money for that actually came out of my health savings account, which is pre-tax money. So let's just say roundabout that money I didn't pay taxes on, so I saved 30% on that money as well.
Oh, that's not bad, yeah.
So yeah, there's now what I would really like, and we'll see if we can do that, is if I can just deposit that back into the health savings account. And so that money's just there to be used whenever, rather than dropping it into, it doesn't matter. It's tax free no matter what. But yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about how the money transfers. Maybe it would have been nice if the insurance company just shoved that back into my account, right? But it doesn't do that. So, but yeah, I mean, this is the year everybody gets new glasses, contacts, all that shit. So we put a little extra in our health savings account, and that covers all your deductibles for everything, and it's tax-free money, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, but
yeah, a little bit about US.
Well, depending on how bad the pink is, like Bard might have to get new replacement nails and skin grafts.
You know, what I have to ask Bart, why would you use paint on your nails?
He's not
painting
using it on his nails.
Oh, he's just getting it on his nails. I'm sitting there going, if you want, just use the nitrile gloves, man. But the by the way,
I just can't hold stuff very well with them, so it's like bugger.
You need like a little spray gun.
Like,
I've got an airbrush, and that might be my option. I'm sorry, Eric. You go.
That'd be pretty cool.
No. That's okay. I'm not I'm not really a germaphobe like my wife is, like, and my sister. They're like the crazy germ. Like, if I meet you, I'm shaking your hand if we're friends, giving you the man hug, whatever, that's all cool. You're a girl, I'll kiss you on the cheek if I know you really well, right? And all that stuff. So I'm not a germaphobe like that. But the one thing that this was hilarious on my last business trip too, by the way. Okay. So in the back seat, right behind the seats, the bucket seats, I can just reach back and I have a box of nitrile gloves that we get at Costco, right? Because the one thing I hate more than anything, and always have hated since I was like 16, right, is the gas pump. I don't like to touch the gas pump with my hand. I don't know why. It's like a thing. So I've got the doctor's gloves that I put on my right hand. So a couple guys that I had not traveled with before, like I drive there, they fly to where we're going, right? They're in the back seat and they're like, Eric, what's up with the rubber gloves in the back? I'm like, hey, by the way, you behave back there, you're getting cavity searched before you leave, right? I mean, I don't know, but it's just like, I hate that. So I'm like, I'm at the Costco gas pumps, right? I got one glove on. I'm like, it's just the one thing I hate. So,
it's just like an irrational. Could this be an irrational fear of it being covered in gasoline and you potentially having flammable gasoline on your hands and potentially it catching alight or something?
Irrational. It probably is covered in gasoline.
Who knows?
I would imagine this day and age that it probably isn't, because the ones in the UK aren't. So I imagine
my hands always afterwards.
When I'm done fueling the car, man, I'm like, I got like the little handle, the nozzle. I'm like there. I'm like tapping it, and it always looks like, oh my God, he's probably trying to get every drop of gas out of this because he paid for it or whatever. And he's cheap or whatever. Absolutely not. I don't like to pull the gas pump out and you have that drip that comes down and hits the outside paint or something on your car. So I'm just like, and if it drips on the inside plastic, I got to take the glove and wipe it out. I'm like, I hate gas on the car somewhere. It's just like an anal retentive, totally irrational thing that I do. But
wait, screaming. What's bad for the evap? Oh, yes.
So none of you whip out like one of those like small kitchen torches and just torch your hands just to make sure that there's no gas on it?
Yeah.
Is that just me?
Yeah, I don't like gas dripping on my car, and stuff like that.
People do look really weird when I'm on the gas, like the petrol station forecourt, and whip out like one of those,
Yeah. By the way, Mancheetah brings up
propane torches.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mancheetah brings up a big thing about handling cash. So here's how irrational my thing is about like the fuel pumps, right? I fully acknowledge my weirdness in some things, right? I have no problem dealing with cash and just like whatever. Because I grew up in retail, right? And so we always, I mean, you just dealt with cash. I mean, there was nothing. Lick the thumb, whatever, right? You completely don't think that, maybe some of these bills were in like a stripper's garter belt or something, or anything. You're just like, whatever the hell with money. These 20s were probably used to snort cocaine. I don't know. I don't think about it when I deal with cash. It's so sad.
So,
and by the way,
I wonder.
Yeah, go ahead.
Could it be, and I'm going to ask a question here first. Are you in one of those states where, or at least when you were younger, where you had to have the attendant fill the car? Or have you always filled it yourself?
So when I was probably 13, 14 is when I first started filling, maybe 12. First started filling gas, and my mom would pull up and it was a self-serve because that was cheaper. And I would fill the gas. So I've been doing it that long. However, when I was younger than that, that's when it first started. I was probably 11, 12, 13. When we had self-serve stations. Prior to that, almost everything everywhere, at least where we lived, was attendant filled. And by the way, the state of New Jersey required a attendant, full serve they called it, attendant filled till just recently, like a couple of years ago, I think. I'm sure there's somebody in the audience from New Jersey that probably knows the exact time, but that was one of the last states I knew that was required full service. Now we do have, I know of one full service station in my area. You'd have to travel a little to it, but some people just like that.
That's your one
still
thing,
does.
by the way, because I don't think any of you looked at the clock.
No, we were like, holy shit. By the way, it was like 1 o'clock. I'm like, hey, I'm going to refill my coffee, and I come back and, we're talking. I go, holy shit, it's 1 o'clock. I was doing the whole John Belushi. Holy shit. But yeah, okay. So one last thing, so we can be a little bit late here. So
yeah,
Bargos, you're first.
Yeah, I'll just finish what I was saying then quick, and use that as my one last thing. I was just wondering if it was like a cultural thing that maybe caused that kind of thought, because we've always done it, and I've never seen anyone with an issue like that.
What, the irrational fear of germs on the fuel pump thing?
But the money is fine, right? Because you've grown up handling the money,
right? It's by the way, I fully acknowledge how weird that is, right? I'm happy, it's just the way I am. I actually enjoy everybody's weirdness, and I fully am happy being teased and harassed over it, because I would tease and harass somebody over it, but not in like a mean way. But yeah,
I wonder if anybody has an irrational fear of like plugging in their high electric car while it's like raining like torrentially.
Oh, there's got to be.
There has to be, right?
Well,
it's like, no, I can't plug it in. It's raining too hard. Like,
well, think about this, because I just saw an email on this, and it was like, okay, and I'm not going to say any details on this, so I try not to get in trouble. However, charging in electric vehicles, okay, in some areas where they might have freezing rain. Okay, I actually read in an email that if it's frozen and you can't hook it into the electric vehicle, take a paper towel with hot water on it and wipe it down. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? Like, who wants to wipe an electric fucking outlet with a warm paper towel? I mean, put a fucking cuff over the thing so you don't have to worry about it. But, seriously. But think about that. I mean, a lot of people. What you need,
that's what you need the attendants for, that aren't pumping gas anymore for you. They're the ones that put their lives in their hands. Like,
I'm gonna address the whole attendant and gas station thing in my one last thing. Yeah,
go for it.
Soth, you're up.
I got nothing.
Okay, Pepto-Bismol. Okay. Also pink, beautifully pink. Okay, McLeod, you're up.
Are you? I wanted to ask Bard once a couple of things actually. Like, are you going to buy red, green, yellow, and blue paint as well? And legitimately pirate the new Eve board game.
I already have a blue speed paint, so I've got one that matches.
Okay.
I've got a yellow airbrush paint.
Hey,
might pick up a speed paint, but I got that, so it'd just be green. That
Kickstarter actually is doing a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
It looks good. It just feels a little overpriced in places.
Well, yeah, but there seems to be plenty of people who want there's where is it? Which one is it? The veteran pledge of €214 is 1,070 backers. Oof, fair amount of people. Yeah, I wondered considering CCP, I was there wondering what the actual goal was going to be, or whether it was going to be ludicrously high or anything like that. But yeah, it's actually very, very reasonable and moderate, and they've eclipsed it by quite a significant amount. They pledged for.
Yeah.
They pledged at least because it kind of sets it to regionally where you are, right? So it says it says
the dollar bit next to it.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. So the initial one was €50,000, and they've gone to €335,000. It's yeah, they've that's a Kickstarter that's done well. Let's put it that way. Cool. So props to CCP on that.
All right. What else you got with that? I thought you had a couple.
There was that, and there was also Vanguard's. Obviously, Vanguard, the new playtest for Vanguard's going on at the moment until Sunday, or end of Sunday, I think. Nothing much has changed. There's been some balance. I think there's been a bit of balance changes. I think there's some blooming, some recoil blooming kind of stuff that they've changed a little bit, and they've fixed some bugs and some issues that people were having with Vanguard back in early December, but the game is basically pretty much the same, other than they're going to be handing out some Plex awards for people who have reached top 10 in some way, shape, or form through this playtest. There's there is a leaderboard somewhere. I think it's actually on the... Where the fuck is it? Oh, yeah, sorry. So vanguard.eveonline.com, it has an event leaderboard, and apparently it's the amount of contracts that are completed. So if you get in a top 10 position there, you apparently win some Plex. Who knew?
Mancheetah's going for it, yeah?
If that's something that you're into, then yeah, have fun.
Nice. Okay. What was it I said I was going to address on my one last thing? I forget. Fucking senior moment. I'm losing. I'm serious. What did I say I was gonna do?
What wasn't it the petrol pump thing?
Yes.
Was it something to do with that?
I can't remember what on the gas pump thing. So bizarre.
Well, anyway, in that case, we might as well just say that.
Gas attendant. There you go, Laszlo. That's it. So when you look at what back in the day, and some cars required different things, right? And they would check your washer fluid. You pulled into the gas station in the U.S. at least, and they're pumping your gas, and they're checking your oil, and they're checking your fluid levels for your windshield wiper fluid and stuff like that, and your coolant level and all that. All that disappeared when that all went away, right? I mean, that all changed.
Yeah.
In this full service thing, now you got to do all that stuff yourself. So that's thing. And then the other thing we're just talking about, the the charging station, right? Where I live, most people don't go to like a Tesla charging station to charge their Teslas or their EVs or whatever. They just get that shit put in their garage, right? And they do it at home. But yeah. And then the other thing is, Mancheetah reminded me of something here when he said the electric Hummer, right? Looking for an electric Hummer at the EV car dealership, right? So that reminded me way back. I never went to this club, but it was there, and I could have. I was of the age. So where I went to university, right there, just at the one area just up the road, was a nightclub. They called it the Electric Banana. I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about the club. Just it was called the Electric Banana, right?
I wonder what's going on in there.
I have no idea. No idea. So here we go. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we what is it next week? Where are we going? Oh yeah, next week it is the day after Groundhog Day, and where Eric lives, of course. The big day is the 2nd because that's an amazing movie, Groundhog Day. So it is your time to watch Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil rules. Okay, you gotta love Punxsutawney Phil. He's the amazing groundhog. Yep. All right, and
I'm gonna have to watch Groundhog Day at some point. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll be back the 3rd, and there is a meta show today, right, McLeod?
Yes. There's a meta show on in 50 minutes time. 50 minutes time. So stick around for that for sure.
All right.
Or at least come back for that. Like they'll be talking Faction War. They'll be talking Nullsec. They'll be talking. They've got a guest. I think Brisk and Mark have a guest or something. Let me just find it.
Yeah, and apparently we riled Brisk up because he was all upset earlier.
That's right.
Yeah, we like to turn the little handle behind him, get him riled up every once in a while.
Yeah, but so Metashow will have a guy from Minmatar Fleet Alliance called Bear That Cares. They'll be talking about the ongoing war in Providence against CVA.
Sounds
as well as obviously some stuff about Null and all sorts of other random stuff because there was the Winter Summit sort of dates and topics thing that I'm sure Mark Resurrectus will want to talk about as well, and so all sorts of stuff.
All right, so, and out there in the audience, you have a wonderful. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
And if you want to jump on a Logitech giveaway, there's also a stream going on after that at like 0200 Eve time later on tonight, and that's that'll be a stream by who is it? I think King Wolf is going to be playing Enshrouded and doing a Logitech giveaway there as well. So check that out as well.
Yep. And not that I'm going to stream. I'm going to play a little Palworld after the show here. So yeah. So thank you, everybody. You have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. We
Bye-bye.
are out of here.